Small towns across America are full of hidden gems. Each one has their own rich history and their own unique character. Each one also has their own story to tell. This is where we bring their stories to you. I'm Jason Stickney, and this is Hometown Pride. Today we're visiting Youngstown, New York, a village of 1,900 people in Niagara County, New York, 12 miles north of Niagara Falls, where the Niagara River meets Lake Ontario. I knew I had a big day ahead of me, so I stopped off at Ashker's Cafe and Ice Cream Shop to visit Ron Ashker, meet some locals, and get some much-needed coffee. So why don't you tell me a little bit about the restaurant?
The restaurant, we've been here for almost 7 years, I believe, 7 or 8 years, and it's the cafe and the ice cream. We only do the ice cream in the summertime, and it's so nice. We have our steady Youngstown customers, the village people. They're nice. You know, we have the group of ladies that come in a few times a week. They've watched us grow as a restaurant and watch the family grow. They've been a part of it and watched us expand to all other locations. It's nice in Youngstown to have all of the people here and all of the support that they give us when they come. And
that's really cool.
Like the big family. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So.
Okay. Well, hi folks. I'm Ron.
I'm here with Ron Ashker. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the business here?
Well, it's a wonderful place to do business in the village of Youngstown. It's a beautiful village. It's right on the water. It's right next to an international border. From where I'm sitting, we can actually see Canada. It's really a lovely village with some really nice people. And we've enjoyed our time here. We've been here about 7 or going on 8 years, I think.
Can you tell me a little bit about the history of the building?
The building, it's an amazing building, absolutely amazing. This building was built in 1840. The front part, the part that we're sitting in now, was built in 1840. And it's amazing. I got to thinking about, for example, when Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, that happened in 1865. This building was here 25 years before the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. And in fact, when it was built to be a general store, and that's where people enjoyed hanging out and getting their news. And so these very walls are the identical walls that were built in 1840. Would have heard people lamenting over the loss of the President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, in 1865. And it's just beautiful. Right now is a wonderful time because the trees are all green now, the leaves are out, the flowers are growing, everything's growing. There's the excitement of summer starting. The folks are coming in to visit Fort Niagara, to visit the area, to play soccer out here at I guess it's one of the world's biggest soccer venues, or at least this part of the country, if not the world anyway. And so there's people take rides out here just to get away from the city and just to have a look at the country and relax and enjoy the atmosphere. So we like working here. We like the people because we just enjoy chatting with the folks that come in, those that come in to visit, those that come in to have a lunch or a breakfast or whatever, even a nice cup of coffee, sit outside at the tables outside and watch the traffic go by. It's just a pleasant place to be.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
My next stop was Anchor Wine and Spirits to meet the proprietors, Mark and Cheryl Butera. I'm here today with Mark Butera, the owner and proprietor of Anchor Spirits. How long have you been in business here?
Well, this past April was 6 years that my wife and I have owned the store.
6 years?
Yes.
Okay, great. Tell tell me about what made you open up a liquor store.
Well, it wasn't something that was planned. We had a lot of history here in the Youngstown area. It was a cold, windy Saturday morning in August 6 years ago. I needed a few bottles of alcohol. I said, let me go back to the liquor store in Youngstown. And I came in and I saw a little for sale sign in the window. And that just was the beginning of where we are today.
The location's amazing. Could you tell me a little bit about it?
Well, we've been very fortunate. A lot of very kind people have shared a lot of great information over the years with us. We've tried to do a little bit of research. This store has been a liquor store since the mid-'70s. Ann Gibson and her husband opened the original Yankee Spirits liquor store on Main Street in Niagara Falls.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Main Street in Youngstown. And when this building became available, the post office occupied it from the mid-'40s until the mid-'70s. When this building became available, Ann and her husband bought it, brought the liquor store over here, and it's been a liquor store ever since. We are now the third owners since it's been in this location.
Okay. Now you mentioned a post office. So this was a post office for 30 years?
Yes, this was the Youngstown Post Office. I mean, it has been in many different locations in the village over the years, but from the mid-'40s until the mid-'70s, this was the U.S. Post Office. And the back facade wall of the store was the original counter arrangement that was set up in the store. We're thankful that it's still here.
And you've kept that intact all this time?
Oh yes, all the owners have, and we do the same. Yes.
Okay, that's really cool. Okay, I'm here with Cheryl Butera, another owner and proprietor of Anchor Spirits. Thanks for taking some time to speak with me today.
Thanks for coming in and talking to us.
Okay. Now, what can you tell me about the history of Youngstown?
That there is so much history. We were not aware when we bought the store just how much history there really was with this particular area. And we've learned the Battle of La Belle Famille took place in the little square of Main and Lockport Streets. And the actual sign for the battle is along River Road, but it correctly is nearly in our backyard here, in our, maybe you might look at it from above, Google, it would be in the parking lot.
Really?
Which is, at that time, what do we say, 1700s?
The Battle of La Belle Famille was fought in 1759 on July 24th. Now, this battle changed the course of the history for the region. The French occupied Fort Niagara, but it was under siege by British troops. French reinforcements were moving up from the south, and they were ambushed at La Belle Famille, about 2 miles south of the fort itself. It was a complete disaster for the French. They were routed by British regulars, colonial militia, and Haudenosaunee warriors. The fort surrendered 2 days later, and the French never really recovered.
All of the area here was filled with giant oak trees.
Okay.
So the battle took place amongst the trees. And,
Oh, wow.
And now this is the village, and this is the business district. Mark and myself opened the store in '07. In 2010, we were named Business of the Year, but when that happened, we were also named, I'm the president, Mark's the secretary of the Business Association. And what that led to was, bye Tom, making a whole lot of, or learning a whole lot about the history of this village and what makes it so wonderful. The people, not just the scenery, and with the atmosphere. We say because of interesting things that happen here, we have come to call this Anchor Spirits, and our word, our quotation for talking about our store is, we keep the spirits alive. So many battles, so many lives lost, so much history right here under our feet.
Yeah, we're actually sitting on a battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty intense.
So yes, this was the post office, and one time before that, maybe a grocery store, lots of businesses, but a couple hundred years ago, battles. Those are the spirits of the village of Youngstown and of Anchor Spirits.
Wow, that's really cool.
It's wonderful.
Now, you raised a family here, right?
Yes, when I was a baby, my mom and dad and sister and I lived right in the fort. They had after the war. My dad, I said he was in the Navy. My mom and dad got together, had a couple kids, and they converted the hospital at the fort, which was an active military base, into living quarters for the military, for families. And so we lived there for a couple of years. So I've been called to Youngstown and Lake Ontario my whole life. Lived on Mary's Lane, lived on Lake Road, more than half of my life. I've lived in, and
wow.
Again, we bought the store having moved to Cambria to be closer to our day jobs. We retired. This is our retirement business, and bought a house on the lake. So we're back to the lake. It always calls us back. I don't know if Mark said this, but we would not have considered opening a liquor store anywhere but Youngstown.
Oh, that's great. And you have children yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Together we have 5 children.
Are they still in town, or?
3 are and 2 are not.
Oh, okay. So it's very generational. Right?
Yes. My son helps us out here. Our 2 sons help us out here. Family, lots of friends. Most of our friends live in the village or in the town of Youngstown, town of Porter, where I know lots of people leave the area, but a lot of those people that leave the area come back, and they come back because there's nowhere. You'll hear folks say, Youngstown is a little slice of heaven. It's like God's country. It's very, very special.
Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with me today.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm very, very grateful. Thanks. This place is amazing.
It is amazing. We're very happy to be here.
After getting a taste for Youngstown's rich history, there was no way I was going to hold off on going to the fort. At the fort, I met Will Emerson, one of the many reenactors that bring the fort to life. All right, I'm here with William Emerson. He's a reenactor here at the fort. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the fort itself?
Well, the fort was built, especially the castle, which is what we're sitting in now. It's built in 1726, and that was really the first permanent building built here. The rest were kind of wooden outbuildings. And then the French have that fort until 1759. And then after that, the British sieged the fort for a nice 19 days, so it's a pretty long siege. But after that 19 days, the French finally surrender, and they give the fort over to the British, who then held it until the end of the Revolutionary War. And then the Americans, they keep it until 1813, and then the British take it again. By force in 1813, December 19th, 1813. Mm-hmm. And they bayonet 67 American troops. So it's not
really?
very pretty, not a very pretty history. But then finally, at the end, the Americans take it back by treaty. So it always comes back to the Americans. We never actually fought for it, but we get it both times back by treaty.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How long was it active before they decommissioned it?
It was active up until 1963 as a U.S. Army base, and then after that they turned it into a state park. But technically we are still the longest running Army base, or military base I should say, because we still have the Coast Guard. So we've been a military base since 1726 and still going.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's the longest running military base.
Awesome. Tell me about what you're wearing now. What's your...
Today I'm dressed as an American sergeant, sergeant in the 3rd Artillery, so normally I'd be firing a cannon. But sometimes, a lot of times, there was a lot of broken barrels not enough cannons to go around to the American troops. So a lot of times the artillerists would actually be functioning as regular infantry. They'd be carrying around muskets, much like regular infantry. And a lot of times you weren't always wearing this blue coat. A lot of times you were wearing green, gray, brown, because this blue dye comes from Great Britain. And as we know, in the War of 1812, the British did not like us very much. So we were getting colors, any colors we could find, gray, green, brown. And these are natural camouflage colors. You might think that's a good idea, but since the battlefield is very smoky, these natural camouflage colors actually make your unit hidden. And a lot of times you'd be wearing gray coats as an American soldier, so you'd blend right into the smoke. But my regiment was lucky enough to get this nice blue color, so I did show up on the battlefield, so my own artillery wasn't firing on me. So that's pretty nice.
Cool. Okay, let's talk a little bit about yourself now. How did you get involved in reenacting?
Well,
what do you like about it?
I can say I didn't really have a choice. I was actually born into it. My parents had been reenacting since they were 16, 17 for the bicentennial of the Revolutionary War. So I was born into it, really. My mom was still pregnant and she was reenacting, so I can honestly say I've been doing this since before I was born. So I kind of grew up doing this. And it's really fun. You get to meet a lot of new people, especially, and you get to learn about how things were back then, how much different they are now, how much easier they are now compared to back then.
Right. Okay, that's really cool. All right, thanks a lot.
Nice to meet you.
If you're interested in checking out some wildlife while you're in the area, the birds around Fort Niagara, around the grounds of Fort Niagara, are awesome. One of the most common birds is the barn swallow, Hirundo rustica. Now this bird is like the fighter jet of the bird world. These guys aren't really super fast, but they turn on a dime. And they will literally fly 2 feet off the ground. And they'll get this close to you before they split tails, cause them to turn and boom, kick away. They fly that low because they're feeding on the insects in the area. William's taken the time today to show us how to fire this rifle.
This is the British Brown Bess musket, and this is how you load it. I'm going to take a cartridge out of my cartridge box, and this is why they said you had to have at least 4 good teeth to join the army back then. Bon appetit. I'm going to pour a little bit of the black powder, and I don't want to pour too much black powder into the pan because I kind of want to keep my eyebrows. I'm going to shut the pan, and I'm going to dump the rest of my cartridge down the barrel. I'm going to then take out my ramrod, and I'm going to ram the cartridge all the way down to the bottom of the barrel, and I'm going to take the ramrod out. You do not want to fire your ramrod into the enemy ranks. You cannot reload your weapon. All right, now I'm ready to go, ready to shoot.
Okay, great. Let's take a step outside and fire this weapon.
Okay.
Awesome. Holy cow, that musket shot was cool. After the fort, it was a quick shot down Route 18 to Bandana's Bar and Grill for some food. Rob, thanks for taking the moment to talk to me about this. What made you decide to open up a restaurant here?
It just happened. Everything came together really naturally. We found the place. It had an apartment above it. We knew we would have to live in the place that we owned for a little while, and this was the only way we can do it and still be husband and wife.
Okay, are you from Youngstown?
Originally, no, I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, okay.
Melissa, my wife, she's from Youngstown.
Mm-hmm.
And coming back here is kind of like bringing her back home, so it's kind of very cool. You know, I really dig it out here. So.
Cool. Was there a culture shock?
Oh, of course. I started in Brooklyn, and then I ended up in Buffalo. I went to college at UB, where I met Melissa, and then we progressed here. So it's like running after a bus to like watching rocks, you know, do nothing when you're out here. But it's awesome. It gives me a chance to really do what I like to do with the food. So
That's cool.
I like being out here.
What do you love about cooking?
I just like making people happy. I care about what I do. I like what I put out, and I like seeing the response when food comes out and people are in awe and they appreciate, you know, the work that I put into it.
Cool. Do you have regulars that order the same thing like all the time, or?
Oh, absolutely. We have people who come in for one specific thing, and then I get yelled at because they didn't try another thing. It's just it's a pretty eclectic menu, but it has something that everyone will really like and could make it their favorite. Well, here's Jessica, and she has two of our appetizers. It's a nacho grande, tortillas, ground beef, cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, everything you'd want on a nacho plate. Alongside our own pizza logs, we roll our own. They're stuffed with cheese, mozzarella, and you know they just show a little bit of the detail that we put into the work. We don't just use stuff out of a box.
Cool.
We-
So
we
these
throw
are
some
handmade.
of it. Yeah,
That's awesome.
we roll our
And
own.
this, if you leave here hungry, you're doing something wrong.
Absolutely. You know, our menu is a play on some bar food as well as some comfort food. You know, we definitely try and hit you in the heart and in the stomach.
I've got to try this. This looks really good.
Please do.
They get some peppers on it and everything. Okay. And there's more. All right, hang on.
We got it coming.
This is really good. Holy cow.
Yeah. And some of the
The
dishes
peppers are a little hot.
Yeah. Some of the dishes are also from places that I used to work before and show a little bit of respect to, you know, where I have
Oh, yeah.
been in kitchens.
Do we have one of those out here now?
Nacho Grande would definitely be one of them. Potato skins right here, I came up with those while I was working somewhere else and decided I was going to hold out for that for my own place. And
Oh, cool. So what's on the potato skins?
cheese sauce, bacon, green onions, and some sour cream for dipping. And we do potato skins a little differently, you know, they're just fresh cut potatoes, and we fry them up like chips, so it's just not like dug out baked potatoes.
Oh, so these are super thin. Normally they're more boat-like.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. Gotta try one of these now.
All right,
We got more.
yep, jerk chicken sandwich, mac and cheese with wrap.
Oh my gosh. This food is incredibly good. Oh my gosh, this food is amazing. And there's so much of it. Seriously, if you leave this place hungry, you are doing something wrong.
All right, what we've got here is our jerk chicken sandwich. One of the reasons it's on our menu is because I like going to Jamaica, and this just reminds me of Jamaica. So it's a grilled chicken breast, marinated in our own jerk seasoning, with grilled pineapples, grilled red onions, and Swiss cheese. We also serve it with a banana aioli, which is a little different. Chicken and bananas, most people don't think it's too common, but it's really a good play. Along with that, those are our sweet potato fries, which we toss in a real maple butter, which just makes them a little sweeter, a little crispier, a little more delicious, which is the way we like things here at Bandanas.
Rob and Melissa Cadell were great hosts, but it was time to get back to work. Hey Rob, thanks for having us at Bandanas.
Hey, thanks, welcome.
My next stop was a charter fishing expedition with Kingfisher Charters and Captain Mark Villardo.
This is our temperature on the surface of the water, and as soon as we get that center downrigger down, we'll have speed and temperature at the depth that we're fishing.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, we're here today with Mark Villardo from Kingfisher Charters. Mark, good to meet you, man.
Good to meet you.
All right,
Good
thanks.
to meet you, Jesse.
All right, so tell me a little bit about what you do.
Well, we do charters, charter fishing in Lake Ontario and in the Lower Niagara River for salmon and trout. And right now we're catching king salmon, coho salmon, and steelhead trout. And the fishing's very good.
Awesome.
We've got world-class fishing here on Lake Ontario.
All right, so that's amazing. Can't wait to get out there. Let's give it a go, guys.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thanks a lot.
Great.
Oh, it looks big.
Take it off. You got it. You got to keep that rod. You got to keep it tight.
I can believe it now. Look at this.
Pretty fish.
Look how beautiful this is, right?
How pretty that fish is.
This is awesome. This thing fought like a tank. This is all muscle here. Not me, the fish. Woo!
That's what we're talking about.
This is a big fish.
Woo! Oh my gosh, fishing out here is awesome. Do you see the size of that thing? This is crazy.
Can you see it? Look at that. I'm gonna get it out of the light.
After a great time fishing, I swung by Brennan's Irish Pub for a quick drink and to reflect on the unbelievably great time I've been having. Okay, I'm here with Rick Russell, the manager of Brennan's Irish Pub. How long have you been here?
2 years. Gary Brennan, the original owner, reopened it, and he had asked me if I wanted an opportunity to run his business, and I said absolutely.
Cool. What's it like to run a business here?
In Youngstown, it's beautiful. The people that you meet, it's different every day. Just the surroundings, the water, the sunset. It's just a gorgeous area.
Cool. So, what are some of the sort of highlights that you see in Youngstown, like calendar year wise? What are like the big things that really draw people in and that you know like that sort of boost your business?
Youngstown has in June and in July a street dance, which is just great. They shut down the whole street, and we have bands and food, and I mean the street's just jammed with people, so it's really awesome. And the fort contributes so much to our business because of all their reenactments and stuff that they have, and they also have soccer tournaments that they have at the fort, and so everybody comes down here to see what Youngstown is about and eat and just have a good time.
Cool. You said you have stuff at the fort and that. What sort of I mean, what do you offer here? Because I know you have a bar upstairs, and I know you have the dining area also. About what are you like are you a restaurant with a bar? Are you a bar that serves food? How would you sort of categorize yourself?
I think we're a bar with a restaurant. We have our seating capacity is 60 over in the dining area, and it's just a beautiful area where you can just sit down if you don't want to have the chitter chat of the people at the bar. Mm-hmm. And or you can walk over to the bar and see our huge screen TV and watch any game that you like and have a beer or two and just sit and relax, and it's just an awesome atmosphere.
Cool. Awesome. And do you do banquets?
And we absolutely do. In fact, the room that we're in right now is a banquet. This holds 50 people, and we probably do a banquet once or twice every month.
Oh, okay.
So
that's a decent work.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Awesome. Okay, so who does most of the cooking here?
Well, as the manager, I do a lot of the cooking.
Oh, yeah, really? What's your favorite thing to cook?
I cook a mean pie. I got to tell you that. Our pizza is it's pretty awesome, pretty special. We have homemade sauce, cheese, pepperoni. It's all top-notch ingredients. We don't mess around here at Brennan's.
Then it was off to the bistro at the Old Ford Inn for an elegant dinner. Built in the mid-1800s, the bistro at the Old Ford Inn exudes comfort and charm. Leo Burnett was the perfect host. Chef Mike Conway took the time to sit and share some of his vast knowledge and experience with me. I had the black and red snapper, and it was out of this world. Absolutely amazing. And no visit to Youngstown would be complete without a stop at the Ontario House, aka the Stone Jug. This place has a shuffleboard table. I've never played it, at least not since I was a little kid, but holy cow, do I want one of these things. All right, so why don't you tell me a little bit about the village growing up?
Well, we had quite a few restaurants here. Beside the Stone Jug, there was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, I think about 4 more. And we had 3 grocery stores, which right now we only have the one. But they were, the 3 grocery stores were right here on Main Street.
Oh, wow.
Then we had the doctor. We had a doctor here right on Main Street. We called him Dr. I can't think of his first name. Faulkner was his last name. And I'm trying to think. I'm getting old. I can't think. Well, what I told you about the restaurants. I thought there were 4, and I'm trying to think. And of course, the barbershop. We always had 2 barbershops. One was across the street, which is still there, but run by somebody a lot younger. And then we had one over here, across the street, which was between 2 restaurants, and then the one restaurant bought out the other restaurant, and then they tore down the barbershop that was next door. And they just built, that was called, now it's called Brennan's, yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, we talked a little bit. You told me that this place wasn't always, it was your residence for a time, right?
Yeah, like I said, I moved here with my mom and dad and my sisters in 1932. And I was 5 years old. And I thought by then, but Eddie said, what did you say, that it was still Prohibition in 1932, see? And I'm mistaken, because I thought my father made the move after Prohibition, but I guess he came here. But it must have been near the end already, because I know he didn't care for it before that, because that's when he moved back to the Falls. And we had a happy childhood here. It was my grandmother and grandfather lived here. They're the ones that originally bought the place. And like I told you before, we did all our cooking downstairs in the big kitchen. And of these rooms up here was this was our living quarter where we're talking now, our living room. And then we didn't have the bed and breakfast kitchen at all here. Like I said, everything was done downstairs.
Oh, okay.
And in those days, the bars opened up at 9 o'clock, either 9 or 8, I can't remember, because all the farmers would come in, because the farmers would be up early in the morning getting all their work done. So I guess by that time, they wanted to come in and get a couple of shots and a beer before they went home to take their break. And like I told you, like I said, this was my mom and dad ran it where you could get food. It wasn't like it is now. It was just sandwiches. It was all either cold sandwiches, or we were noted for our hamburgers and cheeseburgers.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah.
Okay.
It's just a beautiful town. I love it. Like I said, I was here since I was 5 years old, and I just marvel at it.
All right.
I liked it better when I was a kid, though. I don't know. I guess it was more quiet. I can't remember, but I always think of my childhood here. You know, as a teenager and as a young adult.
Cool.
That's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's been great to speak with you. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope I did good.
All right, so tell me a little bit about the Stone Jug.
Well, it's a nice old building. It was built in 1842. I now use it as a bed and breakfast in the upstairs, and we have a bar and a restaurant downstairs that I serve lunches mostly. I do some food at night, but it's all lunches. We have all homemade soups, all the recipes that I learned from my grandmother and her two sisters when I was growing up here, and they had it, and it's all homemade. And then we do sandwiches, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, things like that. We have a nice front porch that you can sit on in the summertime with a nice view of the river. And you can eat out there, and then you can have your drinks out there all night long. And then we just have a bar, which is basically just a fun place, fun bar. We have a shuffleboard, which is very rare around this area. Nice big, it's 22 feet long. I just had it all refurbished, and it's a great game to play. It's a nice bar game. And we just basically like everybody to come in and just have a good time. As long as everybody's having fun, we're all having fun.
Cool. How many rooms do you have?
And then I have 6 rooms to run out for the bed and breakfast. Then I have this sitting room here that we're in. And there's also a kitchen area that's got a microwave oven and a coffee machine just for breakfast, for like a bed and breakfast. And then we also have a second floor porch for the people that stay here. They can enjoy the second floor porch, also enjoy the view of the water. Cool. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so tell me a bit more about what goes on here over the course of, say, a year. You know, but what sort of events or?
Well, we always have the big event, although this is the last year for it, but they still will have something at the yacht club that they have the level regatta, which was a very large boat race. And it used to bring up to 400 boats every year, and it's always the third weekend in July. They will have it again this year, and then they're going to have something smaller, but it'll always be that weekend. And then we also have a thing that started up from local musicians that a lot of them I went to school with, or they're a little older than me, from Lewiston Porter School, that they used to have their own bands. And then and now they come back every summer, and they do a big, they just play music. They just do it's called the Summer 69. And on Friday nights they do Lewiston. They do it at Academy Park. And then on Saturday night, we close off my backyard and they play back there. And it's basically like a big high school reunion for Lewiston Porter. It brings in a lot of people. Okay. Anybody's welcome to come and see it. And they're all very good musicians. And it's always a good time. A lot of fun. And a lot of people that aren't alumni of Lewiston Porter just come because the music's so good. It's a wonderful thing. Mm-hmm.
How much staff do you have here? Like how many people
I only have like 4 or 5 people. Yeah.
Oh wow.
They're all very loyal. They're all good workers, and a lot of them I've had here for many, many years.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you had a chance to sort of say something about the place that that people don't know about, it's an old building. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. It's
a very interesting old building because, like I say, it was built in 1842. It's all made of stone. So as you can see, it's all the woodwork's original, and just the craftsmanship alone is just amazing. I mean, they just do not build things like this anymore, And I've always liked it since I was a child, just because it's so interesting. Just the history of it alone. A lot of people say it's haunted. We've had people from Buffalo that are like affiliated with the ghost hunters.
Okay.
They've stayed here and they've said that they've had I don't know what you call it, apparitions, or they've talked with people and things like that. They say that it's definitely haunted.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your name?
My name is Mary Dorshinsky.
Okay, and how long have you lived in Youngstown?
Since 1993.
Okay, and what do you like about it so much?
I love the confluence of the Niagara River and Lake Ontario.
Oh yeah?
I love the ions. There's something geologic about this place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. What do you like to do here on a weekend, or what do you do?
We come to the corner here at the porch. It's our porch, duck porch. Sailing?
You sail?
I don't.
No.
We watch them. We love boats. We love Lakers. And our location allows us to see glorious Lakers coming out of the Welland Canal.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And do you come to the jug a lot? What do you like about it?
I work here
Oh, you do?
a couple of days a week. Didn't always. Was recruited. They had a need. But yes, we come here because we love shuffleboard
Okay.
and music
Awesome.
and porch.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's really good. Hi, I'm Jason.
Jason, I'm Colleen Johnson.
Hi, Colleen. How you doing today?
I'm fine.
Cool. Do you live in Youngstown?
I do. Right in the heartbeat of town.
Okay, cool. Tell me what you love about it so much.
Well, what's not to love, really? The water. I love the water. I'm a sailor.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. I love being on the water, near the water, smelling the water. And I love the feeling of friends. It's a very close-knit town. Pretty much know everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's nice.
Cool. And what do you like about the jug?
What do I like about the jug?
Yeah.
Well, I love playing shuffleboard. You saw us in there playing.
Mm-hmm.
I love the camaraderie, being with everybody here in town, sitting on the front porch, looking at the water, watching the sunset, sailboats go by, knowing that I'll be down there, you know. Just everything about it, I guess. I love it.
Do you race?
I do, I race.
Okay. You ever race in the levels?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about that quickly?
About the Level Regatta or about
Yeah.
racing?
Both.
Well, the Level Regatta draws probably about 150 boats. Sponsored by the Youngstown Yacht Club. Boats under perf rating who race in different races. There's 5 different race courses, and it happens every year. And this year is the last hurrah, the last Level Regatta. They're going to change the style of racing.
Okay, but there'll still be races?
They'll still be racing, and for the record, there's racing every Tuesday night and every Wednesday night. Tuesday is a little more comfortable for people, maybe beginners coming out. The yacht club always welcomes people to come down and race, so that's another fun part of being in the community. If you want to come down, you want to be on the water, it's an open club. It means private membership, but it's open to anybody who's interested in getting involved. Really encourages the sport of racing. It's a one-horse town, not many cars go by, but it goes on. And Wednesday night is also racing, and we race with Niagara on the Lake Sailing Club across the river.
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you. That was awesome.
Okay.
I'm here with Lisa, a bartender at the Stone Jug. How you doing, Lisa?
I'm great. How are you guys today?
Doing really good. Okay, so tell me, how long have you worked here?
I've been here working at the Jug for about 8 years now. I fill in bartending, but I also work as a waitress in the kitchen with Eugenia. And this is like my second family. I've known them for a very long time. My grandparents used to come here. My parents came here. There's a lot of history in this place.
Cool.
I absolutely love it. They're like my second family. Obviously, you can see us
And
being
do you live
here.
in Youngstown?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
And I love it. I used to live in Lewis, and I moved down here. It's just, you can walk anywhere you want to. People are friendly. It's just a great little hideaway that nobody really knows about down here.
Awesome. Okay, so what do you really love about the place? Like, what's your favorite thing about Youngstown?
Just the people.
My time in Youngstown was packed to the gills with amazing sights, mouth-watering food, and amazing people. I cannot wait to go back there again. From the Village Diner and the Dory Trading Post to Tom Towers Farmers Market and Lakeside Quarter Horses, from the Youngstown Yacht Club to the Niagara Jet Boat Adventures, there is so much more to experience. But don't take my word for it. Come see for yourself. The memories that you make with your family will last a lifetime. Thanks for joining me on this visit to Youngstown, New York. I had a blast, and I hope you did too. And we'll see you next time on Hometown Pride.